Hey guys, Reaganite71 here. Just got back from Home Depot. I wanted to get some flowers. We're going to do a video on promoting pollinators. The best way to do that is with some good flowers, and you can also discourage bad insects. They had their marigolds crammed in to these racks, and the racks had about, well, the racks came down to here and they were just absolutely crammed in, getting no sunlight, and they'd been sitting out there. They had prices, you know, on the racks, and they were just leaving them like that. And these guys, I mean, they've got real potential, but getting them no sunlight, it's just going to kill them off. So we're going to fix that. We're going to make them real healthy and happy and put them to work in the garden. Since it was getting late in the day, I decided to go ahead and load up the flowers, haul them around back, give them a drink, and then put them to bed for the night. Well, it's the next day and the flowers made it just fine. We've got a couple of projects that I'm going to do today. I'm going to get these in the ground and get our pollination situation squared away, but I also have been derelict in my duties. I've got a lot of grass and weeds and stuff growing up in the garden bed, so I'm going to do a little bit of weeding there as well as I plant them and then really clean them out once I get this part done. Yeah, I think I've really let it get away here. Somewhere in there's cantaloupe. Weed and grass killer. Doesn't go anywhere near my vegetable plants. I typically will use this to edge the driveways and also any grass that's grown up through the concrete, get rid of it that way. I'll also use it for our fence line and stuff like that. I do want to show you a little trick that you can use with this stuff if you decide to deal with some of your weeds and what have you using this. Now this works better if you have cotton gloves. I've got some rubber gloves, but it should do fine. What we're going to do is we're going to pour some of this into a cup. We're going to be extremely careful not to spill it on anything. Now we're going to take our cup and we can actually dip our fingers in this, being careful not to drip it all over the place, and simply touch the leaves of things that we don't want around. It'll soak in through the leaves, go to the roots, kill it out, while keeping everything else around it safe, so long as you're not dripping it all over the place and don't trip. Now right here is a really good example of an area where you can use this for just spot treating little areas. I've soaked the fingertips here, and now I'm just going to touch these leaves, and that's it. I'm not touching anything else in this bed. I'm just going to touch these leaves. It's going to soak down in. I'm not pouring it into the soil. I'm just touching the leaves that I want to go away. Mrs. Reaganite has this uncanny ability to find these things every time we're in the garden. I never can find them, but she does. 4-leaf clovers. Now I've changed my gloves, so I've got nice clean gloves on. That other method will work fine if your spot treating areas where you've kept it up and it's not close to your veggies or anything like that. In a case like this, where we've had, you know, several weeks of rain and the grass is just shot up like crazy, I'm just going to have to do it by hand. You know, I'm going to have to remove this stuff away from the plants here, and I got to be very careful that I don't also uproot the cantaloupe. Yeah, because some of these roots are quite deep. Stuff has come right up through the weed block here, and it has. Well, after 25 minutes it looks a little bit better. As you can see, we had some massive root bound issues with the marigolds we got from Home Depot. Really sad. We can fix this though with a good tingle to the root ball, and we're also going to add fresh compost to the hole. That way they've got plenty of nutrients and they're ready to take off and grow. Well guys, I could keep talking all day long and shooting video, but Mrs. Reaganite is pretty adamant that I get busy and get to pulling weeds and planting flowers, so I'm going to do that. Over on the blog, we've got more information on planting for pollinators, including a real handy chart where you can put in your zip code and find out the perfect flowers that'll attract pollinators in your area. We've also got a link up to a PDF brochure by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service on the things you can do to help grow the pollinator population. Right now I've got to get rid of the weed population in the garden. Yeah, I'm just taking a little break while Mrs. Reaganite went in the house. It is pretty warm today for May. We've gone from spring to the monsoon season. I think we had about 2 days of spring actually. And now we're into summer. We're up in the 80s today. Well guys, this is Reaganite 71. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for subscribing and your support. We'll see you next time. Tomatoes. You smell that? Smells like salsa.